Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. And today we got a man that if you're on Facebook or Instagram and you're in tune with what's going on in the community, you've probably seen his name pop up all over the place, at least over the past year. He's doing a lot for the community. He does a lot to help people with their financial decisions. He is a financial advisor with Edward Jones, and he's my advisor with Edward Jones. So, Paul Applegate, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Your voice sounds great in my headphones. So
wonderful.
This is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a good one. I know a little bit about your story, and I really felt like these are the kind of stories I really love sitting down and talking about, because we're all in this kind of like life game of just trying to get through life with the ups and downs. And that's what the podcast is all about, you know, and you and I have a lot of similarities. Both are good looking guys, but
incredibly handsome.
And then there's a whole bunch of other things like career jumps in the middle of our career.
Those are fun.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
So let's dig down deep into it. Before we get to your law enforcement phase of life, just give everybody just a little synopsis of who Paul Applegate is prior to becoming a police officer.
All right. I'm sure that'll sound great on the podcast.
Yeah,
as well.
Right. Just 20 some years of it's condensed down to 1.5 minutes.
Grew up in New Jersey, went to Rutgers, found my passion, one of my early passions in life of track and field in technically in 6th grade, but really kicked it in high school.
Yeah.
Ended up doing pretty well. Got a scholarship to college, which only reason I went to a 4-year college right off the bat. Went to Rutgers, had a great time there. We ended up winning the Big East Championship as a team in 2005, which at Rutgers doesn't happen very often. So we actually ended up getting elected into the Rutgers Athletics Hall of Fame, which was phenomenal.
Yeah. Was Ray Rice at Rutgers at that time?
Yeah. I think he came in my sophomore or junior year.
Okay.
And just took over. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He made us look good, which is not easy. If you look at we won the first, we like to joke that we won the first college football game, but not many cents. But, I learned more outside the classroom in college than inside.
Yeah, that happens.
Which is actually great now, but wasn't great then.
Sure. Now, you threw the shot.
I did.
And did you throw the discus too?
I did, but I was much better at the shot because...
Were you?
Well, I'm decently tall. My arms aren't super long, and like the best discus thrower in the world right now is like 6'5", and with very
a big,
long
huge
arms.
wingspan. Yeah.
And the second best one is like 6'8", with an even bigger wingspan.
Okay.
And that's the kind of stuff really helps when you're throwing. I think that's throwing like 240 feet. Like it's a good distance.
Yeah.
Shot put, a little more compact, more strength, and all that. So.
What was your best throw?
50, I believe in college with the 16-pound shot, it was 56 feet, 3 and like a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
I placed in the Big East every year in shot put.
Yeah.
Very happy with that.
Yeah.
But I still it's a great time, but it feels like a different life after everything. I'd love to be able to go back to not that time. I wouldn't survive it again, but to who I was then.
Sure.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Grew up loving parents.
Great family, siblings?
I have a brother. We get along. We're different people.
Okay.
He's a video game guy. I like being outside and doing stuff.
Okay.
But, what was I going to say?
What did you major in college? Other than partying?
History, because I enjoy history and I thought it would get me to go to class. Didn't quite.
Okay.
As much. I enjoyed other things.
So you got that degree in history, and
I
then
did.
You applied it to law enforcement.
It was, 2008 was when I graduated. Not a great time to find work. If you remember that time frame.
Yes.
My grandpa was a cop. He was a great guy, wanted to do something to help the community, didn't want to be stuck in an office all day. And I thought this was great. Great way to do it. New Jersey was almost impossible to get a job. My now wife, who was my fiance at the time, gave me a list of states to apply to. Applied to every opening in those states, and beautiful Elkton, Maryland was the first one to tell me I was hired.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Was your wife from the area?
No, she's from New Jersey as well.
She's from New Jersey.
Yeah, we actually grew up like 6 miles away from each other.
So your move to Maryland was because of getting a job here?
I heard you got to have a job as an adult, so.
Yeah, no. I know. And you're probably thinking at that very point, like you got into your job, you're like, this is awesome.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
First probably 5 years were awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And then every 5 years kind of got progressively worse.
Yeah. To the point where like it really mentally messed with you.
Yes.
Like to the point of being diagnosed with PTSD.
Yeah. It was the last year or two in police work was really not a great time for me.
Mm-hmm. What was the hardest part of the job?
I mean, there's a couple different ways you could answer this. One was that every day you go in and you're just dealing either with the people who hate you or even the people that like you. It's the worst day of their life. Mm-hmm. They were the victim of a crime or they just got assaulted or, you know, most people, if they're the victim of a minor crime, it's
a good day.
I mean, it's the worst day of their life.
Oh, it's the worst. Okay.
You know, some people, like the people we deal with regularly, we wouldn't even get called for the minor stuff, but like, right, I hate to put it, regular people.
Yeah.
If they're dealing
law-abiding
with
citizens.
Law-abiding citizens. If they're dealing, it's because something bad happened to them, and it's not a great day.
Yeah.
But like even you're just surrounded by people who are either miserable or having the worst day of their life, and it beats you down, and you get jaded very quickly. You have to actively go out and not try to find. Like I tried to get involved in the local business community because they were decent people, helped me kind of stay out of it for a while, but, you know, waves against the beach, the ocean always wins, you know. The sand's got to be replenished every now and then.
Yeah, sure. And certainly there's things that you're going to see on the job that are even worse than minor offenses. I mean, you know, which kind of triggered you to leave the profession. I mean, was there a defining moment in those last, because you served for 15 years, the last 5 were very challenging for you. The last 2 are definitely challenging for you. And I want to know how much detail you want to get into, but was there a defining moment that just said, screw this, I'm out?
I wouldn't say a defining moment, but I know like where the really major downfall started. We get a call it was like an 8-year-old kid called 911 because his mom stabbed his grandpa. Yeah, not a good setup, right?
Yeah, no.
And like I've got 2 young kids at this time, and once you have kids, the kid stuff eats you up.
Sure.
And I mean, it eats you up before, but once you have kids, it really, really eats you up. Get there, chaos. Grandpa stabbed in the neck. Grandma screaming. The sister is on top of the suspect, also stabbed. Everybody screaming, blood everywhere. Got this traumatized 8-year-old. We do what we got to do. I end up making a decision. This guy stabbed in the neck. We're 30 seconds away from the hospital. Get him in the back of a patrol car. Take him to the hospital. We don't know how long EMS is going to be. Plus multiple victims, all that. Clean it all up. Get him to the hospital. Dies like 2 days later. But in that time frame, they were able to get statements from him. I mean, great case, open and shut case. Yeah, we got this kid. I mean, I'm almost breaking down talking to this kid because his life's never going to be the same. Right. He's 8, and it's tremendously different. And I've got my 6, like, I think she was like 6 at the time at home, and it's just like. I couldn't imagine her going through that. You start equating the things that you see in your job to your family, and that's yeah. So everybody says, "Great job, good job." You did, really shitty situation. Yeah. Except for like a week or 2 later, my lieutenant comes talk to me, says, "I know everybody says you did a good job there, but I want you to know you did not. Your decision to transport him in the hospital in the patrol car." It's the reason why he died. And I break down. I just start crying. Yeah. You spend your whole career trying to save people, even if you know it's not true. Yeah. It's not true. And like, but you're 30 seconds from the hospital, and EMS is nowhere in sight. And it's one of those things. Like I even talked to the lead investigator who was like, "No, I talked to the surgeon at the hospital, and they said they could have been stabbed in the ER of our hospital. And between his health and age and the wound, there's nothing you could have done.
Yeah.
But let's just say that was for the next year, I'm not a person I'm very proud of.
So one person's opinion, because everybody else is telling you.
Well, when you're already struggling,
yeah,
you don't know what the thing is that's going to tip you over.
Yeah.
And like for the couple of years before that, I had been struggling. It wears down. When you're a decent person, seeing that stuff every day just beat you down.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that threw me over. And I fully admit, for that next year, not a happy person, not really a great person.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else to do. Just keep going.
Yeah, sure.
I ended up at our award ceremony, having a very, very big breakdown publicly, because two things happened that day. I got an award for that call. That fluffs everything back up.
Yeah.
And I also, they did surprise promotions and was not selected.
You were not selected.
You know, the way I was acting last year, I can see it now. But,
Okay.
When you're in it, yeah, it's, not great.
Yeah.
That night is when I decided it's time to start going to therapy. And that was probably the best decision I could have ever made.
Yeah.
That's when I get diagnosed PTSD. Department naturally isn't happy with the things I said that day, which I did say a lot of things.
Really?
Well, when you push things down for so long, it
just came up.
Explodes.
Yeah, sure. Publicly.
Oh, yes. There's no reason to do it privately, right? Naturally, they bring me up on charges. My lawyer says, we can beat this. You're going to get in trouble, but you're going to get in some
charges for
civil administrative charges. They're trying to fire me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not criminal charges.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Administrative charges, which are highly regulated in the state.
Okay.
My lawyer says, you're going to get in some trouble. You said way too much publicly. But from everything you're saying, you don't want to be here. They certainly don't seem to want you here.
Yeah.
Let's find something else.
Sure.
So between going through therapy and all that, and then I always say, if you're a police officer who's a decent person, you can make a very large network.
Yep.
And 15 years in that town, I made a great network. I started letting people know, like, hey, I got to get out of this.
Looking for new
employment.
Yeah.
Had a few job offers very quickly,
yeah.
which is something I'm incredibly proud of.
Sure.
Even one guy, he was like, I don't have a job for you, but I know that, the way the people of this town love you.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have something for you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, that's the first nice thing somebody said to me in a long time.
Right.
Edward Jones, the guy in our town who I love. I would take a bullet for this man. He was there when I needed him. Great guy. If you're in Elkton, I won't be mad if you use him instead. He had always kind of soft recruited me. He's like, I always knew my pension was not going to be enough. Even if I stayed another 5 years to get my pension, it would have been $40,000 a year, which at 45 with 3 kids, probably not enough.
That's not.
So I'd always invested. We always talked investing, all that. He's like, you'd be great at this. You're good with people. You know 99% of the job. We'll teach you the other 1% that you use once a year. Just come do it.
Yeah.
And I was terrified, because you had to be out amongst the people, and in law enforcement, especially with PTSD and everything you do, you're just in a shell. You don't want to, family's not on social media. You don't give out too much personal information. And then you get here and it's like, well, these people need to know you. You need to get out. You need to do everything. And
right.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
Again, lots of therapy.
Yeah.
But my father-in-law, I really value his opinion. He took, he did a mid-career switch as well. And he said, what's the worst that happens if you don't succeed in that job? It's like, you still have the licenses. You can make a good career on the licenses. And it's potential is amazing if you do succeed.
Yeah.
So,
see, we're similar with being in the middle of our career and having to make a jump.
Yeah.
The difference is that I loved teaching. I loved where I was coming from, and leaving teaching was was a risk because I was giving up on something that I truly had a passion for. Where in your case, you're like, probably like, I need to get out of here. I don't want to be in this anymore. And so was there a level of fear or stress making that jump, or was it just so much more motivating to just get it from that bad place into a better place?
I have 3 kids and a mortgage payment. There is an incredible amount of, there's like the fear. I should have left 5 years ago. You know, I should have left 5 years before I did, but it's terrifying. You're making decent money. Also, like, as this thing goes on, you're like, what other skills do I have? Like, you don't, especially with the mental stuff going on, like, you don't value your skills, your skill set, no matter what other people say. It was like getting to the point where, like, I feared leaving the job more than I feared dying on the job. You know, I'm like, hey, at least if that happens, that's taken care of.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and it's tough to, you know, look back at that and say, this is, you know, I was more comfortable with this happening than this.
Yeah, sure.
And seeing on the other end how great this has been, like, the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, sure.
Now, like, I never tried anything, never did anything, but I was fine if anything happened. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, and I think we're going to get off a little tangent here, but that's why I'm so open about my struggle with this, because I want people to know it's not an end. It's not, you know, it's an isolating disease, and there's still such a stigma about it, especially in law enforcement and you know, military. And it's just, I want people to know, like, it's not.
Yeah.
You can pivot, you can change. You know, it's going to be a change, but you can thrive afterwards. Like, life can be different.
Yeah.
It's not an end, it's a middle. Like, you just have to see it.
What is the greatest thing that you've learned from therapy about yourself?
That's a good question.
Because you're still doing therapy to this day.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
I go every 2 weeks.
But and certainly you've come a long way.
Oh yeah.
Just in the short time that I've known you, because from when I knew you in the beginning, you didn't talk too much about exactly what happened. You opened up a lot more. You opened up a lot more in your presentation the other day at the chamber meeting that we're a part of.
Yeah.
It was a great presentation. You could just feel what you were saying. So there has been a significant change in you. But is there anything that you can put your finger on that has really just made the greatest impact from therapy?
I mean, just that you're worth it. Like, it's something, like, no matter, like, the things that happen to you don't define who you're at. Like, I've got 3 young daughters. I reference a lot of Disney movies in my everyday quotes, and I bring up Frozen 2 a lot.
Okay.
We watch it. My youngest is now watching Frozen a lot, but there's a scene at the end when
that was a staple in our house too. I have 3 daughters. And,
you know,
yeah.
There's a lot of truth to a lot of these Disney songs. I hate to put it that way, but there's a time when Anna is lost and doesn't know what to do, and all she can think about doing is the next right thing. And I found, like, in life, if you just, every decision you make, if you try to make the next right decision, you know, it's tough the first time, but every time you do it, it gets easier. And next thing you know, you're so far away from the person that was lost. And you just keep adding to it. You know, in my line of work right now, we talk a lot about compound gains and, you know, compound interest and all that. Like, it works for people too. Like, every decision you make, you know, compounds on the last one.
Yeah.
And whether you're making bad decisions, you can slide very quickly. If you're making good decisions, you can really grow and move forward in really a quick way. I'm a huge law of momentum guy.
Yeah.
You know, if things are going well, like, that's the time to attack it and let it and keep that momentum going and push, and making the good next right decision really helps. And again, going back to that you're worth it. You're worth making the right decision. You're worth trying to improve.
Yeah.
Because there's potential there that you don't see at the moment.
Yeah. I like what you're saying about that compounding of just doing the next best thing, the next thing like now, because sometimes for me, I get too wrapped up in the future of like what I want and all that, and sometimes that can weigh heavy on you too.
Yeah.
You know, but I find if like I have certain daily habits, certain staples that I have to do on a day-to-day basis, with that if I do those day to day, it compounds into something greater over time. It just you just don't flip a switch and then all of a sudden you're there. Hey, you know, streamers, balloons. It takes the, you know, it's the boring. It's just the small things. And for me, getting to the gym in the morning is like that one. If I had to take away everything, that's the one habit that I feel like
it's energy.
Makes the biggest difference. Yeah. What's your biggest habit?
I don't even, like, I just work. Like right now, my dad was a man who just went to work and worked, and through pain, through everything, just went to work because he knew he needed to give us a better life. Yeah. And I've basically put off all personal hobbies and habits to dive into this and trying to spend as much time with my family as I can outside of this. But like this is, I get up and go to work, and I work until I think the work's done, and then I come home, and then I try to spend time with them. Yeah. Softball season took up a lot of time. Like my therapist talked about this the other day. She was like what personal, like, I feel guilty if I take personal stuff because I take so much time working, and it's a lot on my wife.
Is your therapist trying to convince you to find things to do for you? Or are you you're good with that? Like there's no resentment in just working? Well,
I know what I'm doing is unsustainable.
Okay.
I'm from Cecil County. My office is now in Harford County. I have a great network in Cecil County. Nothing in Harford. Well, at least when I came in October,
You have one person in Harford.
Yeah.
Come on.
But when I started in October, when the office opened in October, you know, leaving the Elkton office, coming here, I didn't know anybody in Harford County, really, you know. And I knew that I had to outwork everybody. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. That's the blue collar mindset that I come with. And honestly, I've never worked a job before that the harder you work, the more money you can make. Yep. I'm just like, I'm going to work the hell out of this. Yeah. And so much of this is relationships and trust, and you need to put the effort in. You know, I always, in the back of my head, I said 2 to 3 years of this intense effort will pay off for years and for generations if I can just do it. Yeah. And it's the first job I've ever worked where I go home in the same amount of pain I went into work with. Nobody spit on me since I switched. So, right. I mean, things aren't going that bad.
There you go.
But right now I would feel guilty because I know it's so hard on her. Yeah. Because I'm putting a lot on her. Okay. Because I'm building this. And when I went into when I told her this is what I wanted to do, but I would only do it if she was okay with, you know, the next couple of years. Right. Being hectic. Yeah. And she gave her blessing. Now it's still rough because you're in the thick of it right now. Oh yeah.
You're let's dig into that a little bit because again, similarities here. I'm a real estate agent. My business is built on relationships. It's built on referrals. I don't pay for leads.
Please tell all your friends.
Please tell all your friends. Yes. I think one of the big things for me in my business is our presence on social media. It was where people are. As you've started to grow your business as a financial advisor with Edward Jones, what are some of the things that you've been focusing on that are really working for you as you try to build more relationships here in Harford County?
Obviously the business networking community in Harford County is very robust. Yeah. There's always events, there's always people, and honestly, I've met a lot of really awesome people doing it, whether I work with them or not. Not everybody has to be a client. But I like meeting people I like. Yeah. And I've met some really awesome people. The other thing I do, I want to get to I never know how to say it, but I want to get to the regular person, the regular blue collar people that are working hard, that don't know, they didn't grow up being taught all these things.
Financial literacy. Like my parents, they worked hard.
Yeah. They knew how to budget, but not really comfortable with the 401ks. It's that weird generation of their parents had pensions, so they never got taught investing, all that stuff. And then like the newer generation is learning all this stuff because they have to. But that middle generation was a little rough they didn't know how much to put into 401ks. They didn't know how to do all that. Fortunately, they lived in the greatest real estate market of all time, and every time they sold a house, somehow it was worth $100,000 to $150,000 more than they bought it for, which really helps.
It does help. You're welcome.
Hey, thank you. But there's a lot of people that don't have. I want to, obviously, somebody with $20-30 million, I'd love to work with them too. Obviously, let's not rule that out.
Yeah.
But I love working with the regular people, the people that can actually use my help. I would love to save a millionaire extra $50,000 in estate taxes, through planning with that.
Yep.
But I'd also really love to help people who are working their butts off every day, figure out how much they need to save, get the retirement they deserve, and go from there. If we can help them with a budget, help them figure out, where this excess money is leaking out to. And I always tell people, when you're changing direction, when you're changing what you're doing, your habits, direction is more important than speed.
Yeah.
Get going in the right direction first, then we can start ramping it up.
Yeah.
If I can tell people hey, even if you start putting $50 a month away, after a couple months, they're like, do you miss the $50? No. Well, then let's do 100.
Yeah.
And it slowly starts building up. Every time you get a raise, take some of that raise, put it away. Have an emergency fund. That way, tires, I spent $3,000 on tires a couple months ago. If you don't have an emergency fund, that's going on a credit card. And a lot of people pay that off at the end of the month. Now you're paying 25% on a credit card until you pay that off. Most people have learned to live on debt because they want to keep up with everything they're seeing. And I think a little bit, I help people be intentional with it. And if I can help these parents, figure out what they got to do, and they can help teach their kids. And now you're talking about changing the trajectories of families. Because if you get a kid who gets his first job and he puts $100 a month away, and every time he gets a raise, he adds a little to it. By the time he retires, it's going to be a lot of money, obviously, barring any, incredible, crazy circumstances.
Sure.
Typically, the longer you're in, the better it is.
So right now, behind the scenes, we have Sarah, my daughter, and Drew, my brother. I don't know. What do we call each other? It's like a son to me.
What are your pet names for each other?
But I call him brother because that just makes me feel like a little bit younger instead of being a father figure.
Do what you can, yeah.
And he's got an amazing dad. If you could look at them and everything that you just talked about, there were several little nuggets in there. What's the big nugget that they need to hear today as young people moving forward with their financial literacy? What's the number one thing that you could tell them?
Pay yourself first. Do a budget. Figure out what you need to live on.
Yeah.
All the extra, which it's tough these days, but most people, if they do a strict budget and they can find some extra. Now, obviously there's some that can't, but I think most people are spending too much and
living outside their means,
living on credit, living all that, and it's tough to dig out of that.
Yeah.
But if you can dig out of that, most of the times you can find there's little extra money each month.
Right.
At 21 years old, you most people have to work till 65 because of Medicare. Health insurance is incredibly expensive in your 60s.
Yeah.
That's 44 years. The small amount you put in now really pays off down the line. Put some money into your retirement account, some money into an emergency fund. We like to see, a couple of months because
life happens.
Things happen.
Yeah. Just the power of compound interest. I've seen or listened to or read certain people with financial literacy or education that say, if you would have started here and you would have deposited a small amount, whatever that is, whether it's $5, $20, whatever, when you're this age, by this age you'll have this, and it's a huge number. If you start at my age until 65, which is 15 years, it's only going to be this much. So the younger that you can start, but getting that through a young kid's head is tough because they don't think so far in the future. And then we learn when we get here that's like, shoot, I wish I would have.
I get a lot of younger clients because the parents I'm working with are behind. They say as soon as the kid turns 21 and gets a job, they say go to him, talk to him, do whatever he says,
right,
and you'll thank us in 40 years,
right.
Compound interest. I like to throw a few jokes in on my meetings because I truly believe that you can take things seriously without being serious. And this can get, like, some of these conversations get really heavy and really serious. So I like to put a little levity in there. But one of my favorite ones is, they always say the greatest gift God ever gave us was love. It's not. It's compound interest. That thing is magical. And we have a flyer that we have that I'm sure there's disclaimers like nothing's guaranteed, all that. Yeah. But like the S&P 500, since the Great Depression, has averaged like 10% a year. Now, some years it's up 30, some years it's down 30, and anywhere in the middle. But the average is close to 10%. $100 a month for 40 years at 10%, which again is an average. It's going to be up, going to be down. But it's $547-ish thousand. That's not the exact quote, but it's in the mid 500,000s. Just $100 a month over 40 years. Over 20 years, it's like 175, like less than half. And over 10, it's like, it's not a lot at all. Like, it's truly the time in. And that's not even adding to it. It's just $100 a month.
Right.
Every time you get a raise, you throw $25 extra, $100 extra, whatever the raise is, before you even feel it. You don't even feel the raise then. You don't feel the difference. You just know what extra you're getting. Put it away. And you'll thank yourself. And even if it's not with me, if it's people, like, not everybody needs me. I'm not going to try to force somebody to work with me that is comfortable doing it themselves. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people don't have time. A lot of people aren't comfortable. And they just, there's a lot of decent ones out here. You know, it's find the person you like, you trust. And some people are more hands-on, some people are less hands-on. Perfect for everybody, whoever you need. Just somebody you trust that's going to give you the advice that you need. And I always joke, like, the biggest part of my job is a financial therapist. If I can talk you out of selling when the market's down 5% and going all cash and then missing the run up, you've made more money than my fee will ever be just in that, or making sure, a lot of people, something happened, I can't put in this month. We need to put in, because if you don't put in this month, there's going to be a reason next month. There's always a reason not to put in. And next thing you know, it's 2 years, 3 years down the line, and you've missed those 3 years and just because of 1 month. You can always try to find it. That's why the emergency fund is big. Because that 1 month isn't a big deal. And like, with salesmen or like real estate agents, I like to see a bigger one because you can go 3 or 4 months without closing.
It's happened.
It happens. So we like to, probably like to see closer to 6 months because 3 months can happen. 6 months, you might want to look for a part-time job. But like, you guys are in such a, like, real estate agents in general are, and it's a crazy thing. Like, you can get 3 or 4 closings in a month, make 40 grand, but then not get paid again for 3 or 4 months. It's budgeting, emergency fund, all that is so much more important. It's crazy.
Wow. Why should I work with you? Like, what separates you, without talking bad about other people, because I don't believe in that, but really, when it comes down to it, why should I work with you?
I mean, I most of what I do is based on relationships and trust. Again, I always joke that for us to work together, I want to like you. I worked with people I hated in police work for way too long.
Absolutely.
So I want to like you as a person to work with you, unless you have $10 million.
You don't have to like them at that
then
point.
you will never know whether I like you or not.
I'm working on it. You're
But-
going to get me that 10 million, and I'm going to be liked about it with it.
You know, I enjoy you, so we're good with
Thank
that.
you.
But my strengths are, I'm honest. I don't mind having. Trust me, I've had much harder conversations in my old job than just you're behind in retirement planning.
Okay.
I'm a decent, honest guy who's. It always sounds so weird. I'm going to care about your money more than I care about my own money. I hate to put it that way. I've got 3 kids. I hope one of them takes this over at some point. I'm not building this for a quick dollar. I'm building this for years.
Yeah.
If we work together till death sometime. Like I tell my clients, I'm going to probably die behind this desk anywhere between 1 and 40 years from now. I give you a solid 12 months guarantee. After that, anything can happen. I still feel better because every month it keeps going 12 months.
Sure.
So,
Okay, good.
We're feeling good. But honestly, I'd love to I leave this and I don't want to be one of those guys that leaves things that are not right. The big word in financial advising right now is fiduciary, and that means we have to act in your best interest, which we do. I mean, I do. But I spent my life in law enforcement. I spent my life trying to help other people, and it damn near killed me. Yeah. My name means more to me than a few quick bucks.
Yeah, but see, I think that's definitely something. You come from a service mindset, serve and protect. That's what law enforcement. That's what you do in law enforcement, and that's what you're now taking that serve and protect and applying it to a whole different career. But because your mind is in that kind of framework, that's what makes you so great.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like to say, I bring a blue collar mindset. My family, we always had enough, but not a lot extra. They worked their asses off, and I want families like that to get rewarded for it. Just if I can, I do a lot of things that I don't get paid for because I think it's the right thing to do. I believe in those stupid, sappy Facebook videos that I watch and cry over because I got to let my emotion out somewhere. That's what the therapist says.
Yeah.
That you do enough good, the good you put out in the world comes back to you. I don't have minimums because I want, my parents never would have qualified for some of these people with $500,000 or $1 million or $5 million minimums. I opened an account for a woman who left an abusive relationship, $50 a month. I'll maybe over the whole lifespan, I'll make $50 off it. But it's the right thing to do because you're helping them build back over time. Not everything's about money.
Yep.
I never thought I'd make $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
So I don't need to be one of these guys making, not that I would be mad about it, but it's not my driving passion. I don't need to be making $500,000 a year. What the hell am I going to do with that? I want a $30,000 pontoon boat is my next goal.
$30,000 pontoon boat.
As long as it's got space for a cooler and a radio.
By when? You got to put a timeline on that. When are we going to have the pontoon boat?
Not this summer. If things go amazingly next summer, but by the beginning of the summer after that is when I want it.
Okay.
Problem is, I got kids in private school. We still pay for daycare.
Yeah.
And life, they play softball. That ain't cheap.
That ain't cheap. We're a volleyball family. We don't have money in our pockets.
No. Fortunately, we're still just Little League. Yeah. So Little League's not terrible.
Oh, it just gets better.
Oh, it's yeah. And my wife played college softball, so we're assuming that they're going to be decent.
Sure.
And I was the star athlete, obviously.
Right. I mean, Rutgers.
We get there, but we assume they're going to play. And is it an investment? Hopefully for a scholarship, maybe. Who knows? But we can't count on that.
Sure.
But you only I saw a stat sometime that by the time your kids are 12, you spent 80% of the time you'll ever spend with them. So who cares?
Yeah.
Obviously put away for your retirement, have your emergency fund, but do whatever else you want with the money after that. The Jocko Willink has a saying, discipline equals freedom. To me, that's have your budget, know how much extra you have any month, know how much you put into retirement, know how much you put into your emergency fund. If there's money left over, do whatever the hell you want with it. You work hard. You deserve to have some money, whether it's on your kids, whether it's going out to eat. Do whatever, but make sure you're taking care of these things first.
Sure.
So that's the discipline equals the freedom. Like if you are disciplined enough in that, you can then be like, oh, we want to do this. We have it. Cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But like, I forget where we even started with that.
I don't know, but that was great.
It's, why do they work with me? If you want to work with a decent person who is going to overthink everything, because that's what I do, and is going to try to give you the best advice they can, and actually care about you. I don't just care about your money. I care about you.
Yeah.
I want to, everything.
Cool, man.
You know?
Well, I've admired you from a distance. Well, not too much of a distance because we see each other every Monday, but you have, kind of going back to where we were talking about building the business, you're building a brand out there of giving back. You're heavily involved in community and fundraising and networking and all that stuff. Is there any specific, and of course the struggles that you face with PTSD, talk a little bit about how you're now helping people through the things that you've been through.
Obviously, my major passion is veterans and first responders. I'm on the board for CHEP, which is a nonprofit around here that helps at-risk and homeless veterans get back on their feet and help educate them a little bit, all that. I try to focus, on veterans, first responders, and again, regular people. Like I love working with hardworking Americans, but I know like veterans and first responders, the biggest fear is being trapped. Because I know that fortunately I had money that I could take a pay cut when things went bad. If I had to fight and stay because I didn't have any other options, I have an idea where things would have went, and it's not good. Law enforcement, firefighters, EMS, veterans, like if you are stuck at a job when you shouldn't be there because it's bad for you mentally and you're not, but you're too afraid to leave because you're not in the financial, like I want to help that. Unfortunately, that's not something I really get paid a lot for, but it's the right thing because I know where it would have been to me. And I want them to know that when it's time to go, they can go. And also, like I will never say I went through what a veteran went through, but I've went through some stuff myself.
Sure.
When I talk to the veterans, it's for them it's more of like a large events. That like mine is more waves against the beach, consistent every day. Dealing with stuff with a few, like the event I said earlier, but I like. There's still that stigma with PTSD that it's a weakness and that you're weak and that's going to ruin your career. It's like saying, to me, it's like, oh, I broke my leg. I'm such a wimp. It's not.
No, you just broke your leg.
You broke your leg. Like saying this is, you can only see so much before it snaps and breaks. And the longer you wait, the harder it is to come back from, So I'm open because I want people to know that they're not alone and that it's not a weakness.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, what do you feel is like the greatest, if you could go back to the young Paul that was in college or even in law enforcement, with the wisdom that you have now, what would you go back and give them as your biggest piece of advice? Or to anybody that's going through similar struggles?
I mean, just make sure there's always an exit plan. Make sure that there's always, especially I've seen it with law enforcement, the more things you see, the less still you always have to be busy. You can't sit still because that's when things come back. So you're always spending money. You're always doing things. You're getting incredible amounts of debt and you're stuck then because you can't take a pay cut. You can't do this. You don't have any savings. You can't run through the bad times, or they stay too long because, I was fortunate. I kept my marriage through this, but some people are divorced 2, 3, 4 times, and now even if they get the pension, they're getting 10% of it.
Man, she's a keeper.
Yeah. Listen, I'm working so hard now because I put them through a lot.
Yeah.
And they deserve to have whatever I can give them. And I know that I can do it.
Yeah.
And I can succeed And because I'm just too stubborn to fail.
Right.
And I know what I want to give them, and I know the time frame, and I wanted, like, she shouldn't have stuck with me when I was as miserable as I was, but she did. It's a burden I still carry because I feel so bad about it.
Yeah. Just take that and
my therapist says I should tell her that, but I'm telling you for some reason, but not her. I don't know why.
Well, maybe she'll listen to this interview and just get a little bit of a deeper side of you.
Maybe.
I'm sure she knows that, though. Yeah, she knows. She knows it.
No, but it's just make sure you have a way out, especially with this kind of line of work.
Yeah.
And even in corporate world, like layoffs happen, interviewing is basically like selling yourself. Mm-hmm. If you're desperate, they're going to see it.
Right.
Make sure you have a cushion. Make sure you have that. After that cushion's set, then, be free with your money, but make sure you have that cushion.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if people want to build wealth with you, whether they're young, they're middle, or they're old, whether they're $10 million clients or ones that only have $100 to start out with, how can people connect with you?
I do want to add one thing real quick.
Please do.
It's becoming a major sector of our business now.
Yeah.
It wasn't 15 years ago. 15 years ago, everybody stayed at the same job for 40 years and retired.
Yeah.
Now, especially around here with the government contractors and everything, people are switching jobs every 3 or 4 years. They have several 401ks out there. They don't know where they're at. They lose track of them. They're invested different ways. They don't know what to do. One thing we've been doing a lot of is consolidating them. Mm-hmm. Helping them build a plan, because when you work with me, Edward Jones is our firm builds itself on the personal relationship, and I really love that. And like I said, when I work with you, I don't just care about the money that you have with us. I want your whole family and everything to be successful, and so we build a plan for your life. We build a plan for the money. We build a plan to get you where you want to go.
Yeah.
If you want to get a hold of me, obviously. You can Google Paul Applegate, Edward Jones Advisor. That'll pop right up. That Google machine.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah. Facebook is Edward Jones Financial Advisor Paul Applegate. LinkedIn, Paul Applegate. You can come to Aberdeen. Phone number is 410-939-5270. paul.applegate@edwardjones.com. Or you can just look for my face and figure out where I'm going to be.
I know, right?
I'm a lot of places.
It's all over. You're all over the place.
Yeah.
You're omnipresent.
It's... Like I said, this is the first job I've ever worked where I go home in the same amount of pain that I went into work with. I enjoy this.
But you're really loving what you're doing. Oh, you can tell that, yeah.
Oh, I'm helping people.
Yeah, man.
I got into police work because I wanted to help people.
Yes.
The people I help now actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
They're like, you see the difference. You see when you let them know that, like, okay, you're 2 years away from retirement, but if you really wanted to, you could go now. The freedom that gives them at the job. Like, I had a guy, his job wasn't treating him great. I said, buddy, like, you can leave now. You could retire immediately if you want. Like, it's not going to be as great, but this would, like, if you leave now, this is what your retirement looked like. So, like, that's still not bad.
Yeah.
He let them know that. Magically, they're treating them a little better.
Nice.
Crazy how that works, right?
Crazy how that works
when they know they're not when you're not under their thumb. That man, they have to treat you a little nicer because you can go, and then they got to find somebody else. That's what I love. That the when you see people relax, because they know that it's taken care of.
They have the freedom to make whatever decision that they need to make for themselves, and not held down by financial constraints. So
it's awesome. It's like it's what
very freeing.
I love it. It's great.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I really appreciate you coming in today, man.
Thanks for having me.
You're doing great things for our family. I guess at this point, I should say the host of this show, the TMA Connection, and Edward Jones have an existing business relationship. This event is not a testimonial of the services provided by Edward Jones Financial Advisor and Paul Applegate. There's your disclaimer.
We love lawyers. Lawyers are
got to put it in there.
Got to put it in there. But
hey,
great.
Can you follow us on social media? We are at the Markland Advantage on Facebook and Instagram. Follow Paul as well on LinkedIn and Facebook. And you can also visit our website, themarklandadvantage.com. You can check us out on YouTube, see how good looking Paul is.
We only went through 4 cameras. They all broke.
Don't say that. We had a guest that said that they were going to break the camera, and the camera broke for that that show. It was weird.
My headshot only took 4 cameras.
Rich Bennett.
I kept snapping.
Rich Bennett. Yeah.
I love Rich.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Good dude. Yeah. So, or you can download the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you download podcasts. It's been an awesome one here today. Paul Applegate, Edward Jones, my man, going to make me a millionaire.
Please tell all your friends.
Please tell all your friends. Until next time, folks, live your life to the fullest. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead, click it.